and welcome from the International Astronautical Congress 2024 from here in Milan, and I'm in presence of a lot of space enthusiasts, space geeks, space artists and very exciting and cool people. And if you remember, I have with me Leonardo, who I met last year itself in Baku. He's an amazing friend and a great person, very interesting work he is doing, which I'll try to introduce you during this video.
Hello everybody, I'm really happy that we reconnect again.
Yes.
And after Baku, we're meeting in Milano. So
Yes.
how the space sector brings people together, literally everywhere in the world is amazing.
It's amazing. How has your 1 year journey been from Baku to Milan? What have you been doing?
I wasn't expecting this as this first question because it's a big question.
Yes.
It has been super intense,
I know.
super intense, beautiful, full of rewards and full of a lot of work because this year I'm working on different projects, but the main one is ASTROBEAT, as you know, that we spoke last year in Baku. And it's a business experiment where I'm combining the scientific part about developing an experiment that in 2 weeks is scheduled to fly on board of the International Space Station to test cold welding adhesion to repair spacecraft from impacts with space debris, plus all the artistic part regarding space music, where music of mine will go on board the International Space Station. And for this occasion, the opportunity became even bigger because I'm collaborating with Tina Guo and Steve Mazzaro. Tina Guo, world-renowned cellist, and Steve Mazzaro is a top-class producer that are both collaborating with Hans Zimmer. Moreover, the collaboration was expanding with New York University in Abu Dhabi, with two professors, Professor Guedes, Professor Marciano. We worked a lot with students. So it's, this movement started very little and is becoming bigger and bigger. So very beautiful. This year I traveled a lot.
I'm so excited to hear about this. And the project that Leonardo mentions, it's even more important and interesting that you mentioned because it also connects with the theme that we have for IAC, which is about sustainability. One aspect of sustainability is, as we have so many more satellites coming up and launching, there is a risk of collision. And if that happens, there is also a lot of debris in space which might hit the satellites that are already there in space. So if something like that happens, that is where the project Leonardo was talking about comes in, and they can repair that while they are in space, right?
Exactly. It is exactly is spot on your overview. Here the target is, in this new space era, more and more missions are going up there and more astronauts. Moreover, there is this huge push that I love to have long duration missions.
Yes.
So the main idea is it will arrive a point where you must extend the life mission even though you have dangerous impacts with space debris. Until now, there aren't procedures in place. There aren't also not so many studies. So what we are trying to do, first as a technological demonstrator, as a first step, testing it on board of the International Space Station, is to have something that can effectively repair. So probably, you know, in aviation it's very common to use rivets to connect aeronautical components. Here the concept is you have a hole that of course is irregular when there is an impact with space debris. Our idea is to apply the equivalent of a sort of a space rivet where you have two metal patches, and when you pull back the rivet like you do for an aircraft, the two metal patches go together, they do this welding, a literal welding, and you can close the hole. And we want to measure the forces necessary to get the welding, and to later back on Earth we'll check the metallurgical properties. And so we are trying this. Is something different, something new, and together with it there is also the music part, the artistic part.
Yes, now that is what I wanted to come to next. So Leonardo is also, and is more famously known in our space community as the space pianist. He's an engineer, he works with tech a lot, with innovative technology, but he also plays piano and he creates music for space. his music has already been there in space and will be going again soon. So let's talk about the music part of the project.
So this time there is not one composition, but two compositions of mine, plus two students who were selected to have also their music, and the music of one professor, Professor Carlo Guedes, that will be in this package of art delivered to space, that will be streamed back to Earth. In my case, one composition is Moon Seeds, developed in collaboration with Tina Guo and Steve Mazzaro. And also here the inspiration was from something poetic and scientific. I don't know if you know the story, but in 1971, Apollo 14, if I remember correctly, astronauts brought with them a bunch of seeds
Yes.
with them for the trip to the moon and back. And they wanted to study those seeds once back on Earth. And they were quite surprised at the time, due to the limited knowledge, that those seeds managed to bloom into trees. And now there is the second generation of those seeds. There is a scientist from NASA, Dave Williams, that is taking care of the archive. Those seeds, the second generation seeds, is flying back to the moon with Artemis.
Oh, wow.
So from
I know that.
these seeds created what here are called the moon trees. And the moon trees, the second generation seeds is going back to the moon. So it's a history
Yeah,
going
yes,
up,
yes,
and I find it very poetic, scientific, because becoming a multiplanetary species, we will need the plants in space or in the colonies. And it's amazing because it's the Apollo history. And me and Tina Guo, we got the inspiration creating this composition, Moon Seeds, with orchestration and production of Steve Mazzaro, where there are sounds of recorded by NASA from different missions
yes.
that are used as electronic sound as background paths.
Oh, wow.
So it's an orchestration
Super interesting.
very particular, yes.
Wow, I love that about coming to IAC and meeting people, and something what Leonardo is doing is so cool, using the compositions which NASA already has, the sounds through different missions, and also this whole history, the story of moon seeds from Apollo to
I found
Artemis.
it
It's so
beautiful.
beautiful. So glad you shared that. Thank you for sharing that,
Oh.
Leonardo. So what's the next exciting project for you? When's your music going to space next?
This is an excellent question. Now, I want also, I'm planning to do the steps to be myself in space and play a piano from there. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
my target and my dream, and we'll get there. Now, I am so overwhelmed by ASTROBEAT that for now I'm focusing to have a successful mission, because also it will stay in space 1 month. And after the scientific part, that will take a few days, there is the artistic part where two streaming events, you will be informed of course, two streaming events will be organized, and there will be basically an online room with people from literally all over the world. And also this is also to inspire multi-talented people, polymaths, to pop out and say, I am here,
Good.
and to make this community bigger and bigger. Is simply, for me, awesome to see international teams that work together for something that is going up there.
there, yeah,
And this, I
yeah.
think, is the beautiful side of human beings.
Yes.
So I love it.
I love it too, and I'm so glad you shared that. Wishing you all the best for ASTROBEAT, and cannot wait for more music to be coming from you. And like you said, here's to all space polymaths that we have, and hopefully we can grow this community more and more.
Yes.
And keep doing some great work. And I'm very, very excited for all the work that you do always. Waiting to hear your composition. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
doing this, Leonardo. Thank you.
Thank you.